We all have that one meal that we just can't live without, and tonight we're making mine. Please join me while we make a healthy and delicious Kung Pao chicken. We're starting out by shelling some pistachios. The recipe called for cashews, but I don't really like cashews, and I can't use nuts because we are in our Whole30 process, which doesn't allow for nuts. I shelled about 1.5 cups of pistachios. So next I'm going to go ahead and dice up my zucchini and squash. For this recipe I used about 1 zucchini and 1 squash. I really enjoy adding lots of zucchini and squash to my Kung Pao chicken. I think it holds a lot of flavor and holds the sauce in very well. Because I have my weekly plan, I knew I would be making this today, so I already had my bell peppers cut to the size that I wanted, which are large dices. So when I went to dice my onion, I didn't want very big pieces. I like the taste and crunch of onion, but I also knew that they would get cooked down when I was making the sauce. And so I did them kind of medium size, I feel, and it worked out pretty well. We're going to move into making the sauce. And for the sauce, you're going to need coconut aminos, fish sauce, rice vinegar, garlic cloves, ground ginger, chicken broth, arrowroot, and sesame seed oil. So here I'm adding in the 1/4 cup of coconut aminos. And you can get coconut aminos at most grocery stores. I will switch from going from Walmart or Sprouts. Next, I'm going to add in my 1/2 teaspoon of fish sauce. And I just bought this at Walmart, but you can find it at also Target and Sprouts as well. And here I'm adding in my 1 tablespoon of rice vinegar. This rice vinegar I bought at Sprouts. Next, I'm going to add my garlic cloves. The recipe calls for 2 whole cloves. So since I have the minced garlic from Costco, I am using 2 heaping tablespoons. Now I'm going to add in a 1/2 teaspoon of ground ginger. Next is 2.5 teaspoons of sesame seed oil. This is another ingredient that you can buy from really any grocery store. The last ingredient I will be adding in is a 1/2 tablespoon of organic coconut flour. The recipe called for arrowroot, but I didn't have any, and this worked just fine. It's used to thicken the sauce, and I bought this at Sprouts. And I'm just going to mix it all together and then set it aside while I get the rest of my ingredients all put together. I will be preparing 2 full boneless skinless chicken breasts that I got from our local meat market. I prefer to get our chicken and meats from the meat market rather than the grocery store because I feel that it just tastes fresher and lasts longer. But I'll be cutting these up into bite-sized pieces. Another reason I like getting my meats from the local meat market is because I can control how it's packaged and how it's cut, and I find that very helpful in meal prepping. So here to my skillet, I'm going to add about a half tablespoon of avocado oil, and then I'm going to begin cooking my chicken. I like to salt and pepper my chicken after it's cooked for just a little bit. And then what I'm going to do is cook my chicken a little more than halfway and then take it off the skillet. And then I'm going to let it cook the rest of the way once I've added in all my veggies, because I think that adds a great flavor to the meal. Now I'm going to be adding in my sauce to a small pan and having it set on low heat so that it can thicken while the rest of the meal is being prepared. And add half cup water. Just before the chicken is fully cooked, I will remove the chicken from the pan and set it aside. Now adding in the onions directly to the pan without cleaning. I'm going to cook the onions down and allow them to release their juices and add a little bit of water. This will help release some of the bits from the chicken that's on the bottom of the skillet and really add a great flavor to the meal. Once the onions are fully cooked and tender, I will begin to add the zucchini and squash to the skillet. Stir your squash and onions together, then lower your heat and cover for 3 to 5 minutes. Once your veggies are bright and tender, it is time to add the rest of the ingredients. To the skillet, I am adding in 1 red bell pepper, 1 green bell pepper, and an optional add is 1 jalapeno, which is in these peppers. The jalapeno adds a nice heat to the meal, which complements the sauce nicely. But if you don't like a lot of heat, go ahead and leave that out and it will still be just as delicious. So I added in my pistachios and I let them steam for a little bit. And now I'm getting ready to add in some asparagus spears that I have chopped up. I'm also going to add in the chicken back to the dish. Give it a good mix and then let it sit on about medium heat for just about 2 to 3 minutes. Now it's time to pour in the sauce and mix it all together. After I've eaten it, what I would recommend is doubling the sauce recipe. I really like my Kung Pao chicken to be more on the saucier side. And so next time I've made this, I doubled the sauce recipe and it turned out almost perfect. And because I like that added heat, I am also adding in red pepper flakes. And once all the ingredients are added together, I put the lid on the skillet, lowered the heat, and let it sit for 5 to 10 minutes.
right, so it's all done and it's time for a taste test. So let's see how it is. It's not bad. It's not panda worthy, but it's pretty good.